1.5 million people on Medicare Advantage will have their health plan canceled on them for 2025. If that's you, then make sure you can use this little known Medicare rule to turn that negative of your Advantage plan getting canceled into a positive, and that you can make a switch to a Medigap insurance policy outside of your normal enrollment period. In today's video, you'll learn the rules and the time limits that apply to you, whether you stick with Medicare Advantage with a new plan or switch over to original Medicare and buy that new Medigap plan. There are big health insurers like Cigna and Humana that have been canceling Medicare Advantage plans, which might have you freaking out about what to do next year. If this is you, then use this cancellation as an opportunity to start fresh and make a decision on which Medicare Advantage you'd like to go with, or perhaps making a switch back to original Medicare with a Medigap policy. I went over to Medicare.gov to figure this out and what you can do if your Advantage plan is canceled. You could, of course, buy a new Medicare Advantage plan, or you could use this opportunity to get back into original Medicare and buy a Medigap insurance policy. Typically, once you're past 65 and you're past your normal enrollment period, and especially if you don't qualify for a special enrollment period, you can no longer switch out of the Medicare Advantage over to Medigap if you want to. Now, there are some states and sometimes that you could get a guaranteed issued right, which means you would be allowed to buy a Medigap policy if you want. So I went to that Medicare.gov website. I've got a link in the description for you that talks through those guaranteed issue rights and when you could switch back to another Advantage plan or the Medicare Medigap insurance plans. Now, you could switch to that Medicare Advantage, a different one, if you wanted to. You can do that during the Medicare open enrollment. That is going to be October 15th through December 7th of each year, and then it'll be effective for you next year. Or if your Medicare Advantage is being canceled to no fault of your own, that is your opportunity to get over to original Medicare with a Medigap plan. Now, here's what you got to do. If your Advantage plan is being canceled, you can 60 days ahead of time sign up for another Medicare Medigap coverage. You can switch over to Medigap if you'd like. Now, after that coverage, you have now 63 days after that cancellation. So you got 60 days beforehand, 63 days afterwards to switch out of Medicare Advantage if it's being canceled over to Medigap if you'd like. If you do nothing, if you don't get to another Medigap type of policy, another Medicare Advantage type of policy, then you're being switched over to original Medicare anyways. What happens then if you're an original Medicare with no Medigap coverage? You're on the hook for that 20% that Medicare is not going to cover for you. So you'll want to do something. Plan for it ahead of time. If you get that notice that you're having your Medicare Advantage plan canceled, you've got the 60 days ahead of time, the 63 days afterwards to make a decision. So start fresh. Take a look at the differences between Advantage and Medigap. Talk to an independent insurance broker to decide what is going to be best with you on Medicare Advantage or Medigap. I asked Melinda Keil about it. She says that people love Medicare Advantage until they don't, and that's when they can't get out. Because quite often when Medicare Advantage is causing an issue for you, it's because you've got some health situations going on and you may be wishing you had the Medigap. So if you're the person that has had this Medicare Advantage canceled, take this opportunity to start fresh, decide again, how has Medicare Advantage been working out for you? Would you rather stick to Medicare Advantage? In which case, go out during open enrollment from October 15th to December 7th to make sure you get another Advantage plan, or make that switch on over to a Medigap insurance plan, and that this is your opportunity. You might not have had that opportunity beforehand. Either way, check out my next video with Melinda Keil, the ultimate guide to Medicare enrollment in 2024. Hi, I'm Jeremy Keil, owner of Keil Financial Partners. And if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients get more income, pay less in taxes, and avoid big retirement mistakes, make sure to go to keilfp.com. That's KEILFP.com. Medicare.gov.